Alright, here we have one of the most crappiest, most famously crappy guitar amps. This is the SP-10. It doesn't even have a brand on it, but this is the amp that comes with the Fender Starcaster packages. I think some Squier packages come with this. Anyhow, it is a product of the Fender Musical Instrument Company, as it says on the back. But let's examine it here. And we have two channels, overdrive and clean. Although a lot of reviews say it has overdrive, they just call it overdrive. It's really a diode clipping type distortion. Now, bass, treble, volume, about all you need. Headphones, has about a 5 or 6 inch speaker. One of the good things I like about this amp, though, I know I like this thing actually, kinda, is it's a closed back amp. It has a really directional sound, and it has 2 bass ports, which actually gives it a really nice thumpy low end for a 5 or 6 inch speaker or whatever that is. And it actually has a really nice clean tone as well. I mean, for what it is. But the trouble with this thing is that, of course, most beginners want distortion, so they put distortion on, and it sounds terrible. The distortion on this is horrid. But I have a remedy for that. At least a slight remedy, which kind of involves removing some stuff and turning it up all the way and putting it on the floor face down. But we'll get to that later. For now, I'm just going to show you how it sounds stock. Alright, now I'm going to be playing into this thing off of camera right here with a Agile AS820, my favorite guitar. It's got a Jimmy Page wiring set up, stock humbuckers set up for coil splitting, phase switching, and series wiring. Now let's fire this thing up here. We've got our bass and treble, both at 5. I like that setting, me personally. You can see we're on clean. I've got it set on the neck pickup, single coil. We're in clean here. Volume's at about 4. And here we'll give you some nice chords. As you might be able to hear, it has a good amount of bass. It's real clean, represents all the notes nicely. You throw it in, I'll put it in a humbucker. This is a neck humbucker now. Do a little jazz. As you can see, I'm not as good as Les Paul, but of course that was Les Paul, Hawaiian Paradise. Great little song. But one of the problems with clean mode, I shouldn't even call it a problem because it sounds pretty dang good. But I throw in, because most guitars won't be able to push this thing this hard, but I throw my guitar in series wiring. So 2 humbuckers in series, that's pretty hot. And it will distort if I really... And if I really crank it full volume here, much like an old small tube amp, it will overdrive in the clean channel. But now let's demonstrate one of the crappiest overdrives in the history of guitar amp history. Throw it in a bridge pickup here. This is a bridge humbucker. So this is in the, this will make it the ultra screechy crappy. Anyhow. That's how it'll sound to most people. It's just, but anyhow. anyhow, as you can see, it's really farty. There's a lot of mid-rangey distortion. Now let's crank her up. See, it gets a little bit more saturated when you crank it up, and it sounds a little bit better when you crank it up too. And what you can do about that, since it's a practice thing, you're not going to be playing loud volumes, that's kind of the point of it. You can take it and throw it on its face. That'll kill some of the volume. And crappiest version of eruption in the world. Anyhow, now I'm going to show you how to make that a little bit better. If you're handy with a soldering iron, you should have no problem completing this modification. What it involves is disconnecting two diodes. Now, I said earlier this is a diode clipping type distortion. So by removing these, we take it more towards the overdrive territory. And in my opinion, I like the sound of the regular overdrive. Oh, and of course, you should unplug your amp. I'm, of course, a rogue amateur hacker, so I don't follow those rules all the time. But anyhow, here I go. Whoop. Desoldered one. Let's get the other one. Let's get the other one loose. And it's coming. Here it comes. There it is, loose. I didn't completely desolder them because I'm a hack and I just left it hanging in there. And because if I ever want, I could solder it back like I did to make this video before. I just desoldered it there. And obviously I didn't put the screws in the back because I'm also lazy. Now let's go grab the guitar and plug it back in and see how it sounds now. You know, doing this mod doesn't mess with the clean channel at all. It's the same on clean. But it changes the distortion characteristics. So here we are, plugged in, turn her on. Oh, and I should say that this makes it louder too. But as you can tell, it's got a lot more of a treble and bass type distortion instead of this mid-range peak, which the diode clipping has. So, big distortion. Now that might not have been completely accurate, but you get the idea. Now let's throw this thing on its face and see how it sounds with the face down style. That was a neck humbucker. But yeah, I mean, you get the idea. It's a more smoother sort of overdrive sound. But let's try. This is humbuckers wired in series. This is a beefy selection. This will give me lots of output pickup selection. that's my video. A little bit of wankage, a little bit of modding, just what all the noobs want.